What's up, guys? It's JJ, and welcome to an emergency episode of Victory Lane. We finally know Kyle Busch's future. Kyle Busch will be driving the number 8 for Richard Childress Racing. I can't even talk right. The official announcement came out today, so here I am making a video, kind of giving my thoughts, talking about the announcement. I have gone back and watched the full press conference from this morning. And so, yeah, let's jump right into it. We're going to do it kind of in 3 parts. We're going to first talk about what this means for Richard Childress Racing, what they're getting out of it. Then we'll kind of go into Kyle Busch and what this means for him, how I like the move for him personally. And then we'll also talk about Joe Gibbs Racing in the future now that the 18 car is available. So let's get right into it. First off, I think this is a great move for Richard Childress Racing. You know, they found out a few weeks ago that Tyler Reddick, after next season, would be moving on to 2311 Racing. So, obviously, they're going to have a spot open eventually. With that being said, you know, a lot of people didn't expect them to kind of basically replace Tyler Reddick a year before his contract was out. Richard Childress did say in the announcement today that he does plan on Tyler Reddick also running for the team, just in a different car. That, from what I got, you know, he plans on having a third chartered car. You've got to get the charter. You've got to acquire a charter somehow if you're Richard Childress. Don't know. He wouldn't necessarily comment on how he was going to get that charter. But, yeah, I mean, with Tyler Reddick moving on, you get Kyle Busch, who is still one of the top drivers in NASCAR, definitely a top personality in NASCAR, who is now going to come and be in that 8 car and start building in the 8 car, as Tyler Reddick is going to move on to a completely different team. You know, Kyle Busch is moving into the 8 car, but he's also taking on basically everybody that is on that 8 team right now. So, Tyler Reddick, you know, Richard Childress basically said he was told an hour before the announcement that he would not be in that 8 car next year. He's still technically going to be with Richard Childress Racing is the plan right now. But yeah, you know, Richard Childress, you were able to go replace Tyler Reddick because next year, I mean, who knows? There's probably a very good chance there's not a caliber driver available like Kyle Busch was. So I think this is great for them. Do I necessarily see that car competing for a championship? Probably not. You know, hopefully Kyle Busch can continue to improve RCR, but honestly, if you're looking at talent level right now, and how performance has been this year, Tyler Reddick has probably performed, I'd say, equally to Kyle Busch this year in much lesser equipment. Richard Childress is not on the level of Joe Gibbs anymore. Maybe Kyle Busch can get him there, who knows, but that kind of goes into wanting to talk about it from the perspective of Kyle Busch. You know, who knows what kind of offers he had out there. Who knows, really, a lot of the kind of inner workings of this deal with Richard Childress as well. But, you know, Hendrick's full. If you're leaving Joe Gibbs, that's the 2 top teams. Penske, I guess you could put in there. But they're full as well. So then, you know, you got Richard Childress, you got Stewart Haas. That's kind of that second tier of teams. And, you know, for Kyle, I think I said this back when Kyle started to struggle during the COVID year. You know, we saw this with Jimmy Johnson, where he went from, you know, winning 5, 6, 7 races a season. He's done that since he arrived at Joe Gibbs back in, I don't know if it was 2008, 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. And all the way up until this COVID year, you know, he was winning 5 to 6 races at least a season and winning championships. You know, Jimmy Johnson was the same way. Jimmy does have several more championships than Kyle, but, you know, wins-wise, they're very close. And so, you know, when Jimmy started to really slow down and not be the, he started to struggle. He didn't win as many races. He wasn't really competing for championships. And we saw that decline in his career. Once he got a little older. And so I really do think, I said this then, and I think it's become even more evident now, while Kyle Busch is still a top 10, probably even top 5 driver in NASCAR, he's not the undisputed number 1 guy in talent that he was during his prime. You know, I still see Kyle Busch probably winning a few races next year, 1 or 2. I think we could very well see him performing about as well as he did this year. Which this year has been disappointing for Kyle. He went through a very long stretch, I think the longest of his career, without a top 10 this year. I think this might have been one of the best moves he could have made at this point. I really do think as the season went on, Gibbs really didn't want Kyle back as much. He wasn't necessarily willing to fund or put out as much effort to find funding for Kyle as he would have been 2 years ago, even, especially with Ty Gibbs. I think Coach Gibbs was ready to move on. It sounded like from the press conference today, Kyle was also ready to move on from Joe Gibbs. And that's another thing, maybe, Kyle talked about it in the press conference, a reset, going to a new team. That might be what Kyle needed. Like I said, talent-wise, Kyle is still a top driver in NASCAR. He's not the top driver like he was a few years ago even. 2-3 years ago. He was, I would say, the top driver in talent. I used to be a guy that did not like Kyle Busch. I couldn't stand Kyle Busch, honestly. He was probably my least favorite driver. Now, past few years since he started to struggle, you've seen him mature, and he's grown on me. I wouldn't call myself a Kyle Busch fan, but especially with him being in a Chevy now, I would like to see Kyle still be successful. I think NASCAR as a whole is better when Kyle Busch is more successful. So yeah, for Richard Childress, I love the move. For Kyle, it is a step down equipment-wise from JGR, but also I kind of am interested to see if maybe, Richard Childress is getting a little older, and it seems like Kyle Busch might eventually want to own a team once he's done driving. Maybe that had some kind of dynamic to play into it. I don't know. I haven't really heard anything like that. It's just kind of my own speculation. But yeah, Richard Childress, it's a great move for them. Kyle Busch, it's not a bad move. Like I said, I think he will still be competitive. We've seen RCR be better this year, and I think they'll continue to get better with Kyle Busch. Will they be a championship level car? Not next year, I don't think. This is a multi-year deal with Kyle, so maybe eventually they do get back into the championship hunt, but we'll just have to see. So now let's talk about Joe Gibbs. Kind of already mentioned it. The 18 is available, technically, yes, but there's no debate on who's going in that car next year. Ty Gibbs will be in that car. I think there's no way Ty Gibbs is not the one that gets moved up into that 18 car. We'll see how he does. He's been okay so far this season, filling in for Kurt Busch in the 2311. He's in the 23 now. He's in the 45 his first few races. He's been okay. We'll see if he can improve. I think he will. There's no other name to be thrown around for that 18 car other than Ty Gibbs. And, Kyle has looked like probably the worst car at Joe Gibbs much of the season. Christopher Bell, like I said in, I guess it came out yesterday, so yesterday's episode of Victory Lane, Christopher Bell has at times looked like the best Gibbs car this year. Denny Hamlin's been, of course, a really good Gibbs car. Truex has been okay at times. He's been good at times. He didn't make the playoffs this year, but he was 4th in points. So, Kyle Busch. So, most of the season, Kyle was the 4th best driver at Joe Gibbs a lot of the times when you look at points and results. I think, this is a move where he's probably not having to pay Ty Gibbs what he was going to have to pay Kyle Busch. Ty Gibbs brings funding with Monster. So, for Joe Gibbs, it's not awful. I think Ty Gibbs could be a potential superstar in the Cup Series for years to come. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll also see, if Tyler Reddick can maybe get out of his contract with Richard Childress and go over to Toyota a year early. I don't know how legally that works. I don't know. Depends on his contract with Richard Childress and if 2311 wants to fund another car. A lot of different things go into that, but I think that's something we could watch with this story, especially since Tyler Reddick was just told he would kind of be in a up-in-the-air car, basically, next year. So we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, we finally now know Kyle Busch will be in the number 8 for RCR this season. I think with the timing of this announcement, I don't see Kyle moving any further into the playoffs this season. I see Joe Gibbs giving him the worst of the 3 playoff cars, equipment-wise. He's already outside the cutoff. I don't necessarily think he does make it into the next round. He definitely doesn't make it past this next round. But, yeah, it's going to be an interesting end of the season. It's going to be great and interesting to see Kyle in a different car next year. Give me your thoughts in the comments on what you think about this move. Please like the video and subscribe. We're really trying to grow this channel. We're going to have an announcement about the channel coming soon. But yeah, we'll see you Thursday for another episode of Victory Lane. See you then.